Fernando Alonso's contract with Alpine expires at the end of 2022, and he is open to changing teams. He won the World Championship with Renault in 2005 and 2006 before going to McLaren in 2007. Could this be Fernando Alonso's in the last Spanish home Grand Prix? Stay tuned as we will discuss his options and the situation surrounding him. Fernando Alonso feels he can still win a third Formula One World Championship provided he can find a team that can offer him a competitive package. Despite being the oldest driver on the grid at 40, Alonso has no intentions to retire and is instead focusing on how he can stay in one of the more competitive cars for the next few years. His 2022 season has been one of the mixed feelings, with some terrible luck in Saudi Arabia, Australia, and the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, leaving him 16th in the driver standings. However, Alonso's Alpine has shown some serious indications of being competitive, placing 10th in Bahrain and putting on a fantastic qualifying performance in Australia before crashing out in Q3. In an interview, the two-time world champion expressed confidence in his potential to challenge for a third title if given a competitive vehicle to work with. "I think so, that is why I keep racing," said Alonso. "There is still always the hope that one year you will have the package and all the things together to fight for a championship, and I still feel competitive and fast." Alonso has worked with a number of Formula One teams over the years, including McLaren, Renault, and Ferrari, and his deal with Alpine expires at the end of the 2022 season, leaving his future uncertain. Alonso is happy to be the second driver to the likes of Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc if it means driving one of the quickest cars on the grid, and he is not asking for anything from a team if it means driving one of the quickest cars on the grid. He added, "I think that at the end of the day, there are not many number one or two drivers in any team right now, and the teams, they need both drivers to work together and to improve the car. Especially with the new regulations, you are still learning with every lap you do, and you have to work towards a better car, a better package, so let's see what the possibilities are in the next few years." Alpine went from both drivers winning points with top 10 finishes to losing half the race after Fernando Alonso was penalized, a decision that CEO Laurent Rossi described as difficult to accept. Alonso finished 10th in the Miami Grand Prix before receiving a 5-second penalty for colliding with Pierre Gasly. However, his drop in the results did not stop there. The FIA imposed another 5-second penalty on the two-time champion for leaving the circuit and obtaining an advantage. After missing the chicane on lap 54, the Spaniard realized he had the edge. Alonso loudly lifted and elevated his hand as he left the following turn onto the straight, which Rossi thought was enough to escape the second penalty. A disappointing post-race penalty for Fernando for leaving the track and gaining an advantage means our 6 points at the checkered flag turned into 4 points, and it has cost us a deserved double points finish, Rossi said in a statement. "This one is certainly difficult to accept since Fernando handed back the time during the lap and we were not able to present the evidence to clarify the particular situation before the penalty was issued. With the opportunity to explain, we're very confident Fernando would have kept his 9th place. We'll go again next weekend in Spain, where we're determined to piece together a much slicker and a more fair race weekend and demonstrate the real potential of our package." The CEO's comment on Twitter via the team's official account also mentioned Esteban Ocon's collision in the last practice, which caused him to miss qualifying. The Frenchman crashed in the same corner as Carlos Sainz the day before, and both were feeling the effects on race day. Ocon told Autosport that the Ferrari driver addressed the issue during the driver's briefing and inquired why there was not a Tech Pro barrier in the corner. "What is unacceptable really, it was 51G for what should have been not such a big impact," Ocon said. "To not have it and for only one car it has happened, but when Carlos has complained to the race director, we were all there listening to it and nothing has been done. There was a discussion last night. Carlos said the impact was way too big for what it should have been. Today it felt huge, the impact. It's probably the biggest shunt of my career, to be fair. Yesterday Carlos got hurt. I got hurt today as well. The FIA should push harder for our safety. The important thing is that we're able to race, and I will be able to race as well." Rossi said in a statement Wednesday that with sufficient safety measures in place, it is likely the car would have been okay. The car suffered a cracked chassis from the 51G impact. Fernando Alonso raced his 19th Spanish Grand Prix, and the experienced Alpine driver was clearly pleased to compete in front of his home crowd. Alonso made his F1 debut in 2001 for Minardi and has since raced in 19 home Grand Prix, winning here for Ferrari in 2013, something compatriot Carlos Sainz aims to replicate. Alonso said, "The feeling is always the same, has been always the same, and it will not be different on Sunday. As I said before, it is very special to race at home. We can only experience it once a year, and we feel extremely lucky for that. There are other drivers on the grid that don't even have a home Grand Prix, so we feel privileged for that and thankful for that, and I'm ready to enjoy every second. And on Sunday, when you see the fans and hear the national anthem and everything, it is a special time. After finishing 9th in Bahrain, he has failed to score in the ensuing 4 races, with 2 DNFs to his name and a low of P17 at the flag in Australia. Alonso said ahead of the race on Sunday, "I'm ready to maximize it and enjoy every single minute of the weekend, and hopefully we put a clean weekend on our side on Friday, Saturday and Sunday without too many issues, and we can score points. At the moment, we have been quite fast on Friday and Saturday, but on Sunday, for different reasons, our own mistakes, reliability, bad luck, whatever, we didn't score as many points as we wanted. So we want to change that this year from Barcelona and have a good run with consecutive points in races in the points from now on." He was expecting the same enthusiasm from his home supporters, but Alonso has witnessed a shift in passion around F1 Grand Prix, and not just at his home event, since his early seasons in the sport. "I think from a couple of years ago, especially when Liberty Media took control, I think we saw a few steps forward. As a sport, we opened the sport to more people here at the paddock. There's more access. We started to do more things around the track, and I think it was always going in a good direction," he reasoned. "Also, we are living in a very different world now with digital platforms, even access to many things that were unthinkable 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and that made the sport a little bit more open and the people can really enjoy now. And before they saw Formula One as something unreachable or something very difficult to understand or follow. Not to mention that it was his teammate Esteban Ocon's half-home race since his father and extended family reside in Spain. Yes, around the circuit I have most of my family from my dad's side that live around here," said Ocon. "It's a home race for Fernando, half a home race for me, so I'm very happy to be back in Barcelona." Before the race on Sunday, FIA technical delegate Joe Bauer stated that Alpine had chosen to modify Alonso's vehicle with an entirely new set of power unit parts, taking him beyond the season limit. As a result, he incurs a penalty and started from the very back of the grid in his home race in Spain. Alonso's powertrain will have a 4th engine, turbocharger, MGU-H, and MGU-K, all of which will exceed the season restriction of 3. A 3rd energy store and control electronics portion exceed the year's restriction of 2 parts. Alonso reckoned that only a mega fantastic safety car would allow him to make progress after being stranded in 17th place during a tough qualifying session. The weekend has been the latest setback for Alonso through a difficult start to the season that has seen him score just 2 points in the opening 5 races. Alonso has claimed that he is in his most competitive position since 2012 with Alpine, but has been left frustrated by factors out of his control, such as decisions by the FIA stewards, who he called out for incompetence after a post-race penalty in Miami. Do you think this is the last home game for Fernando Alonso? Leave your views, questions, and thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for staying with me till the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when we add new videos in the future. Bye!